When you start an army, you look to your blood, you look to your buddies, you look to your friends.
There's only a couple guys in the whole world that make me love pro wrestling, and you're one of them.
You know, all the bad shit you've heard about us, it's all true. But another thing that's true is we love professional wrestling, and that's why we're here. I'm not sports entertainment anymore.
Talk to him, kid.
This is a new beginning, and it starts tonight.
A new day is dawning for DS.
Know who you're talking to?
I know I said this before, but that is a really badass intro.
Awesome.
What's up, folks? My name is Sean Waltman. You might know me as the 123 Kid, X-Pac, or X-Pac, and you are watching X-Pac 12360 on AfterBuzz TV Network. This is the first episode, and I want to introduce you to my beautiful co-host, Christy Olsen.
Why, thank you so much.
No, thank you. I really, really need you here with me.
Well, I am so excited to be here with you. I can't wait to hear some stories. I know we are going to talk to some of your friends. Man, I just can't even believe that I'm sitting here next to you, man.
Oh, stop. Flattering will get you everywhere.
We only have to do this for the first episode, I promise.
And also, can't forget the man in the booth, our producer, Jimbo Slice. What's up, Jimbo?
What up, Sean and Christy? How y'all doing in the booth?
Hey.
Or in the studio? I'm in the booth. You're in the studio. You know what I mean.
And now that we have that report on where everyone's located, back to you, X-Pac. Was that good? Was that okay?
It was fantastic.
Yeah, all right.
You are so good at that.
Well, thank you. And I think we're going to get better. How do you feel? This is your first show, your first time doing big interviews. And obviously, you've been the subject of many interviews. But to actually talk to these guys and to be the face of the show, how are you feeling about it?
Well, that's just it. I've been a guest on so many people's podcasts, TV shows, radio shows. I've been a secondary member of a radio show, but I've never been the one in the driver's seat. And thank God I have you here with me. And here's the thing. Sometimes I'm be like today, later on, I'll be interviewing, or we will be interviewing my dear friend and Wolfpack member, Scott Hall. And it's so much different when somebody's interviewing a friend, somebody they've known for years, traveled down the road with, as opposed to, somebody I don't really know. And so sometimes it might be a little bit difficult. And it's more of a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think those are going to be our greatest ones. I'm already predicting.
I think you're correct.
That's cool. Well, I want to know what else you've been up to lately. You dropped a little tidbit before we went on air that I purposely didn't ask for more details about, so I could ask you right now. You were at the Misfits rehearsal yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Is that right? That's
yes.
kind of a big deal, Sean.
There's some younger people that might not be familiar with the Misfits, but anybody that follows punk rock, and really they were the father of like the horror punk genre, the Misfits. And Glenn Danzig broke off and did his own thing and experienced a lot of success on his own. But the last time they were together was in 1984. Wow. Yeah, and so like the big reunion this year is like the big hype is for the Guns N' Roses reunion. But honestly, like just as big a deal to so many people is the Misfits reunion because it's been over 30 years.
So what's your connection with those guys?
They're huge wrestling fans.
Of course they are.
Yeah, and Glenn's a friend of mine. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I tweeted out I was going to be at the rehearsal, and I got so many people. Oh, my God, I can't believe it. Like, it would be my dream. And just, it's easy to take that for granted when you're friends with these people.
Oh, for sure.
But it's pretty effing cool.
Well, so I have to ask for some sneak peeks into the tour. Like, what did you see at the show?
At what show? The Misfits?
Yeah.
It was their rehearsal. It was they're playing Riot Fest in Denver on Sunday, and they're playing a show in Chicago. And so they're not doing a reunion tour. They're doing some reunion shows.
Okay.
And if they work out, then I think they're open to doing more shows. But Glenn's not down for touring anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't want to tour anymore. Just go do shows here and there.
Mm-hmm. Well, so those guys, obviously, they haven't gotten together since 1984.
Right.
But you and your buddies hang out a lot more often than that, I think, right? You were with them recently at Stockton Con?
Yeah, last week. You know, honestly, a lot of people think, I don't know, did you see the Table for Three on the network with the three of us?
Yes, but you know what? It's been a long time.
It was, anyways, it was really good. And we talked about that. A lot of people think, okay, they're getting us together for the first time in a long time. But no,
Right.
we were just with each other like the week before that, you know, in Cleveland. And so I was with Keven and Scott last weekend in Stockton Con. And that's like a Comic-Con, the Stockton version. And we just killed. Like I was telling you earlier, we were just raking cash left and right. And it was a point where everybody else, you know, that was appearing there was just sitting there with nobody at their table.
Aww.
Just stragglers coming up here and there. It was, you kind of feel bad for them, but like I said, we were too busy making money to feel too bad for anybody else.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, so that's a busy day, right? You're just sitting talking to a lot of fans.
Yes.
Do you have time to go around and see the rest of the expo or meet any, are you interested in any of the other stars that are there ever?
Oh, totally. You know, I'm a big fan of Michael Dorn, who was there, plays Worf, Klingon Worf in Star Trek Next Generation. I'm a big fan of Star Trek. So I was happy to see he was there. And Adrian Barbeau, who's been in a lot of, like, you know, John Carpenter movies, like Escape from New York. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Escape from New York. She was in Swamp Thing. She was in, I was telling you earlier, she was in Carnival, the series on HBO. But nobody was really at the table, you know. And we had a line that was, I mean, it was out the door. It literally was.
Did you get her autograph, being a fan?
No.
No?
I'm a little bit shy. The truth is this. People laugh at me when I say that, but and people might take it the wrong way, like I'm either like standoffish, stuck up, or think I'm too cool for school, but really what it is I'm shy to go up to people a lot of times. It's really strange.
Kind of unbelievable.
For people to hear that,
Yeah.
but I'm a natural introvert. Totally. I like when I was younger, I was deathly afraid to speak in front of a crowd, and I still am kind of. Wow. But like explaining that to you and to everybody else helps me to actually speak in front of a crowd. So
Well, it must be a little different when you get into the ring, right?
it's way different.
Yeah.
Because like I'll use an example. When I was younger, and I didn't have as much to talk about, so I didn't have that confidence on the mic. But when I got in the ring, I was as confident as anybody in the WWF / WWE. So it took a long time for the confidence to get there, and just to have actually something real to talk about. You know, because when you're making stuff up to talk about, it just doesn't sound as authentic.
Well, I think a lot of people maybe don't realize that you still do quite a bit of wrestling, right?
do.
Did you had a show recently?
It was the Friday before Stockton Con. We were in San Francisco. It was for All Pro Wrestling. There was a
that was a
hell of
big
a crowd.
one.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
packed, and there were several people on the show that you might recognize. Chris Masters, Brian Cage from Lucha Underground, MVP. Joey Ryan, my opponent. We were in a tag match.
Oh, he is an interesting gentleman, Joey Ryan. We've had him here at AfterBuzz TV as well.
Yeah.
Did you have to take one of those infamous moves? Tell me all about it.
What move is that, Christy?
I believe he calls it the penis suplex.
Got her to say penis.
And on our first show already.
Yes.
Oh.
I took it.
And that you took it.
I took it well.
Now I don't really know where to go from
I
here.
know, right? Where do
Well,
you
did
go?
he have to talk you into it, or you're a fan of his, right?
No, actually, it was my idea. Is that wrong for me to say?
I think it's
I'm
okay.
like, okay, look, anything that gets a good reaction, I'm down for it. And hey, that was what got the reaction in that match. And so we built the whole match around that. And it worked. It was great. It was fantastic.
Well, it must be new for someone like you who's had so many years in the ring to do something for the first time. You know what I mean? I'm guessing that was the first time you've been
In a
penis
public
suplex.
setting? In a public setting? No, seriously. yeah, it's hard for me to come up with things I haven't done yet. And that was a first. So I had to do it at least once.
Yeah.
What the hell, right?
Hey, and I'm sure we'll all be able to see
And
it on
I'm a
YouTube.
big fan of Joey Ryan's.
Yeah.
Huge fan. Like, I've been a big fan of Joey since we did WSX, World Wrestling Society X on MTV. And Joey was a team with a guy named Disco Machine, and they were called That 70s Team. And they were great. I loved it.
That's
So,
cool.
big fan of his. And I think you were telling me earlier he was a fan of mine. Like, he never told me that, what you told me earlier about, like, making, what was it, the Blockbuster? Oh, but that was you, Jimbo.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he used to use your name as like a dummy account when he worked at Blockbuster to rent videos without other people knowing.
Wow.
'Cause he
That's
was such a
so
huge fan of
funny to
yours.
me. Like, when I hear things like that, it's pretty cool, you know?
That's a juicy tidbit.
And also, you were out in Europe doing some wrestling. You tagged up with the legendary Grado. Tell me about that, because I'm such a huge fan of his. I saw him on the Vice documentary about British wrestling, and ever since then, I've just been like, this guy's amazing.
He's the Scottish, I would say the UK Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes UK version, 2015, 16. And the people just love him. It's hard for me to even explain Jimbo much about him if you've never seen. You've seen Grado?
Him, I'm not familiar with. No.
Christy Olsen? You've never seen Grado?
I'm watching like 9 hours of WWE a week at this point. I mean, NXT, Total Divas is coming back. My TV schedule is
How do we
very
explain
busy.
Grado here, Jimbo?
I think Dusty is a great comparison.
It is a great one.
He's just like Dusty and like Eugene put together makes Grado, I would say, because he's such a super fan. And he
Yes.
lets that show in his wrestling, and he gets really excited. But at the same time, yeah, he just like he's dancing, and he comes out to Madonna like a prayer.
That's
I
right.
love that.
Here's the deal. A lot of people might not know. There was a legal battle at one point where Madonna's people threatened like legal action against Grado for using like a prayer. And there was this huge petition online to either Madonna or to her people to let Grado use a song. And so apparently it worked because he's still using the song.
Or he just said, "Forget you, Madonna."
Or something
What
like
you gonna
that.
do?
Right.
Right.
Anyways, it's just really cool because he gets it. He gets it. This is showbiz.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if you're ready, I've got a little bit of pro wrestling news here.
Wow.
Can we roll into
Always
some
ready
news?
for a little pro wrestling news.
All right. Okay. We'll get there later. All right, guys. We have got a few juicy stories for you this week, and this first one comes from WWE.com. I will always tell you the source. I know some of the AfterBuzz fans get on me for reading too many dirt sheets and that kind of a thing, but I will always let you know if these are rumors, and this is a fact. Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar rematch announced for September 24th live event in Chicago. The Beast and the Viper are going to war again, just more than a week after a controversial TKO loss to Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Randy Orton confirmed on Twitter that he will receive a rematch against the Conqueror at the WWE live event in Chicago, Illinois on Saturday, September 24th. The match at SummerSlam was, of course, Lesnar's most savage performance since returning to WWE in 2012 and one of the most agonizing defeats for the Apex Predator in some time. The Beast laid into Orton with a barrage of strikes that busted him open and forced WWE officials to call the match off. We all know Orton got 10 staples, but he's going to get his chance at Brock Lesnar again on September 24th.
On a live event, on a house show. Not for television, not for pay-per-view, and as far as we know right now, not for the network, right?
No, a lot of times when these house shows get a big name added, there are rumors that it'll turn into a network special, and we haven't heard any of that regarding this event. So, I mean, unfortunately, you're going to have to be in Chicago to see this go down.
As of right now.
As of now, yes.
Who knows what they'll... I mean, you know, we were talking about this earlier, Christy, and, you know, that they might do a network special. Or that was like a little bit of a buzz about that.
Yeah, well, people want to see this for sure.
Well, I think it would be good if they played some of the house shows, the live feed of the house shows on the network. We were talking about this. A lot of things we're talking about earlier, but I want to share them with you people at home.
Let's just be honest. We had a couple takes. This is our
Yes.
first time.
So the thing about that I was telling you about the house shows and how before they videotaped all of them, which they do now. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but every single live event, there's a camera there that tapes it, so it can be viewed. And that wasn't the case back in the in the 90s. I was explaining to Christy that there are probably a dozen ladder matches that are as good or better than the WrestleMania 10 ladder match that they had a practice run of, on the house shows leading up to WrestleMania. And those matches will never be seen. They're only left to our memories. Because
That's sad almost from a fan's point of view.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just the way it was.
Well, you got to see it, so.
I did. I got to see several of them.
Well, I will keep you and everyone else posted as to whether that live event in Chicago will become a network special or not. Meanwhile, another thing we may or may not see on the WWE in the future, and this comes from Forbes magazine. Headline is, WWE has not completely shut the door on a Daniel Bryan return to the ring. I know everyone's going to be excited about this. After an explosive and entertaining promo cut by The Miz on Daniel Bryan, this week's edition of the SmackDown Live post show, Talking Smack, the pro wrestling community went into an excited frenzy that fueled plenty of discussion. That talk has not calmed down. Daniel Bryan, the SmackDown general manager, was the subject of a brutal promo from The Miz, who called him a coward for not wrestling anymore. The verbal assault led to Bryan walking off the set in the middle of the show. The Miz was responding to criticism from Bryan, who said that The Miz was wrestling like a coward. Now, this is where it gets interesting, guys. The exchange between Miz and Bryan went better than expected, and also was purposely done to generate buzz about Bryan and fans' desire for him to return to the ring and compete. Bryan retired recently due to an increased risk of major injury. And again, we've been hearing a lot of rumors that WWE is maybe looking at him returning. But on the dirt sheets, they say that WWE wants to tease that. They want us to think that, but that an actual return is unlikely. Daniel Bryan, meanwhile, keeps telling everyone that he's been cleared by every other doctor besides the ones at WWE. And I guess we just have to kind of wait and see if this will materialize. What do you think?
Well, the first thing I have to say about that is, first, I didn't see it live. Because I wasn't aware that they had that smack talk.
Yeah, that's a new thing, and it's going over well.
Okay, and so I heard about it secondhand, and then I went back and watched it. And if that was a work, they worked me, along with a lot of other people, and I'm still not sure if I buy that. However, the buzz that came from it. Obviously they're trying to capitalize on it. Mm-hmm. So I really don't know. Like, look, it's 50-50 with me. Yeah, they could have planned it, or they could just be, covering their ass on trying to, because, look, I've heard that there's a certain part of the dressing room that's like kind of, goes with Miz on some of that stuff. And then one, a certain camp that kind of sides with Bryan on that.
Oh, so
that's what I heard.
They divided the locker room.
That's what I heard. I could be wrong. That is what I heard.
Oh, well, that's a very interesting addition to our story.
Well, I mean,
Sean.
there's a lot of guys. Well, there's a lot of guys that come up and got there because of that hard-hitting style they worked before they got there. And then see, here's the thing. Like Bryan mentioned something about the soft WWE style before it changed. I never worked that style.
You sure didn't.
No. And a lot of guys, I take exception to that part. Because my body and my x-rays and MRIs and CAT scans will tell a different story than some supposed soft style we were working. Anyways, I didn't really understand where, like I said to you earlier, to what end were they doing that? You know, and the fact that they're even considering allowing Daniel back in the ring is huge news to me, because they were absolutely 100% not open to that idea, no matter what the other doctor said. So I don't know. I'm not the doctor.
Right. Well, we know for sure. The one thing we do know is that Daniel Bryan wants more than anything to be in the ring, and I'm sure he'll keep pushing it. And
It's
fingers crossed.
so tough. It's so tough when you have what you've done all your life. It's not just your job; it's your life. We're married to this industry, so it's like that's what makes it so hard for for spouses, girlfriends, and that, because we're really married to the business.
Yeah.
And they have to come second. And to have that taken from you, and you have to quit, you have to retire, and not on your terms is got to be brutal. I probably should have retired a long time ago. I can't get myself to do it. I just love it too much.
You still got a few penis suplexes in you.
Exactly.
I think this could have gone so many different ways. It was great to hype up people to tune in to Talking Smack, because now they're like, oh man, what can happen next week on Talking Smack?
That's true.
I don't really I think they're teasing bringing Bryan back to kind of like get footage and content for Total Bellas, like, because now with that going on and Maurice is on Total Bellas this season, that they could have their interaction of like, hey, what was your problem talking like that to my man, kind of thing. But I think this is a great way to bring Samoa Joe up to defend all the indie guys and be like, all right, Miz, like, well, I went and got one of my friends from the bingo halls that's not going to be cowardly in the ring with you. Here's Samoa Joe.
Wow, do you think that's a good idea, or you think that's where they're going with this?
A little bit of both.
I would have never thought that, but I think it's a good idea. I would have just never thought that's where they were going with it.
Well, I just didn't want to be the first person to mention Total Bellas and annoy everybody.
I'm not saying
I'm
I'm
glad
right,
James got that
Jimbo.
out there.
I'm just saying it's not something I ever would have thought of.
Why wouldn't, like, why is that so out of your
I just never thought of it. That's all.
But you think it's a good idea?
Well, because here's the thing. When I saw the whole thing in the first place, I was just like, where are they going with this, and how are they going to turn this into a, putting asses in seats, selling tickets, or selling subs.
Right.
Well, actually, I guess something like that might entice somebody to buy the network for $9.99. I heard they're changing the price. Is that true?
Oh, that has.
I have not heard that.
I have
Oh,
not
no.
read
I know what it was. It was in Germany when I was there. Somebody was complaining to me because they raised the price $1 or something. And I'm like, are you kidding me? If they doubled the price, it would still be the best entertainment value for $10 in the entire world. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not just because I'm biased. It's 100% true.
Amen.
It is. It's ridiculous.
Well, one guy that people can definitely see on the WWE network, Bill Goldberg, and this story comes from TMZ.com. Bill Goldberg wheels in motion for a WWE return. Get ready for a snowball in hell, because sources tell TMZ Sports pro wrestling legend Bill Goldberg is in talks with WWE honchos after a possible return to the squared circle. It's huge news considering Goldberg hated Vince McMahon when he left WWE back in 2004 and repeatedly vowed to never work for the company again. But Goldberg recently struck a deal to appear in the WWE 2K17 video game, and sources tell us the two sides are now talking about expanding their working relationship. When TMZ caught up with Goldberg and asked him about it, he said he would entertain an offer if company officials wanted to make a deal. His rep, however, had no comment. So this one has been rumored for a long, long time. People even thought that maybe Goldberg was going to come out at SummerSlam and save Randy Orton. So this would not be a surprise, right?
The only thing I can say is, why not?
Yes.
It's win-win for both sides. Who cares about the past? Nobody in wrestling should ever say the word never. because everybody ends up eating that particular word. And Goldberg's not going to be any different. Neither is CM Punk eventually. So, Bill, I think you should get back in WWE. I'm 100% behind that. Because they're like, okay, when WCW closed the doors and they were absorbed by WWE, millions of people quit watching wrestling because there was millions of people that just like WCW. And Bill was, he was the biggest star there. And so it makes sense. It makes sense. He's a huge star. He's a good guy, too. Good guy.
Yeah.
I wonder if he can handle a match with Brock Lesnar, though, like they're teasing.
Do you think he can?
I don't know. I mean, Bill's always been like that guy that worked like Brock and did that to other people. I wonder if he can take it.
Well, we shall see. I'll keep you posted.
Suplex City, bitch.
Oh, I love it. Well, we got to turn now to maybe a little bit of a sad story. Sorry to bring us down. This one comes from The Heavy. Finn Balor injury update. When will he return? WWE superstar Finn Balor recently underwent surgery following his SummerSlam injury, and we have now received an unfortunate update regarding his status. As it turns out, Balor's surgery was more complicated than originally thought. It was meant to be 1 hour, but ended up taking 4 hours. And in a video posted to the WWE's YouTube channel, Balor says that any hopes of returning in 4 months have been crushed, and he will likely be gone for at least 6 months. He says, quote, "Never in my life has 6 months felt like such a long time. I don't really know how I'm going to cope with being out of the ring for that long." The full extent of the injuries have also now been revealed. Balor experienced a 180-degree labrum tear. When his shoulder was dislocated, he tore off about half of a tendon in his arm. The injury, of course, took place during Balor's match against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, specifically when Rollins threw Balor into the barricade. Yeah. And now he will be out for quite some time.
Some of his injuries are similar or the same as the injuries I received in October of last year that I've still not had a chance to get fixed.
Oh my!
The difference between Fergal for Finn, I about called him Fergal because that's his name, is I'm at the end of my career and he's still in pretty much the beginning, and I can get by like this and still do my 4 or 5 greatest hits in the ring: 2 spin kicks, a Bronco Buster. An X Factor, and tell everybody I got 2 words for you. That's all they want to see from me. But Balor's a different story. So, and just the fact that the wellness policy will not let you work hurt anymore.
Right.
And that, but I was texting with Balor yesterday actually, and he was just telling me the same thing, And, I was telling him, 4 months, 6 months, 220, 221, what's the difference? I mean, it seems like a long time right now, but trust me, like, as you get older, the time really flies, just your perception of time. And I don't know if his family is here with him.
Yeah, I was wondering that. It must be quite lonely if he has to sit up in his house all alone
I'm
here.
not sure about that, but, after... he might, that's 4 to 6 months might actually go by like that because you're spending some time with the family finally.
Yeah.
That was the problem. The back in my era, we had to get hurt to get time off. So even though we weren't trying to get hurt or we weren't, whatever, when we finally did get hurt and we had to take time off, it was kind of a relief, Well, you're bummed because you're not making money back then. Because when you were out back then, you didn't make money. There was no guarantee, so that part sucked and it was kind of scary. It's a little bit different now. There's still that safety net of a minimum guarantee guys make, but the difference between that and what you make when you're on the road is so big. Yeah, and. I was telling you a story about Randy Savage, and one of my favorite things that he told me was let the competition eliminate themselves, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And damn it. You know what I was thinking about that comment when we were talking about Kevin Owens?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I mean, okay, so now we're talking about Kevin Owens, we're talking about Finn
Yes.
Balor. Do you keep in touch with a lot of the current guys?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. But I'm not going to tell you exactly who because I don't want to put any heat on them.
Oh, I assume maybe
a
we'll
couple
find
of
out
them,
eventually.
like Kevin Owens and Balor, they're both high up enough now that they can handle the heat.
Well, did you congratulate him on his
Absolutely.
Universal title win?
Absolutely. Kevin basically just kept it like this. He just said, man, I'm just like, he's just on cloud nine. It's still really surreal to him. Mm-hmm. And just really happy for the guy. Who was it, Jimbo? Was that you that was telling me he was in the right place at the right time?
Yeah, it seemed like Sami Zayn got brought up, wrestled John Cena, got injured. Then they put Kevin Owens in that spot, and he flourished. Finn Balor gets hurt. They're just like, put Kevin Owens in that spot. Give him the title and let him go again. So it seems like he's the right place at the right time, soaking up all this opportunity as much as he can.
That's where let the competition eliminate themselves comes into play. Mm-hmm. Is, guys are going to get hurt. You're not. Okay, so that guy gets hurt. Okay, we got Kevin. Now, you might not be the first pick. It's kind of like Brett back in the day when Brett was the champion. Vince wanted to make everybody else but Brett the champion. But when Lex Luger didn't work, oh good, we got a good old standby, we got Brett. Things like that. And which some guys might not like that. I can imagine how Brett wouldn't like that, but I wouldn't mind it at all being that guy they could always count on when plan A doesn't work. I'll be plan B any day of the week. So
That would have been another good name for you.
Yeah, plan B.
All right. Well, folks, thank you for listening to my stories. This has been your X-Pac 12360 Wrestling News Report with Christy Olsen. And if you guys have a juicy scoop or you want some more scoop, you can always hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Christy Reports.
Tremendous. You're so good at that.
That was fun.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for letting me talk that long. I appreciate it.
Talk as long as you want.
Well, and I think we're going to get into a little conversation with Scott Hall here pretty soon. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes? All right. Let's get to you. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
I'm sorry. I'm too excited.
Let's go. Let's take a break real quick, and then we'll come back with Scott.
All right. Let's do it. We'll be right back on the X-Pac 12360 show with Scott Hall. Welcome back to X-Pac 12360. Joining us now, he is a WWE Hall of Famer, one of the founding members of the NWO, and a multi-time Match of the Year award winner, plus a notorious sushi lover. Guys, please welcome to the show, Scott Hall.
The lovely Christy Olsen, my co-host here, Scott.
Hey, yo. Hi, Christy.
She's
hey,
really
Poxter.
hot.
Nice to cyber meet you.
It's about time, Pac, you finally had a show. You've been doing radio big time for a long time around Tampa. I'm glad you finally moved full time behind the mic.
Well, yeah, it has been. It's something that I've been wanting to do. Yeah, I've been wanting to do, Scott. Anyways, my brother from another mother. Oh God, I can't believe I said that one. That's
no, I
an old
can't
one,
either.
Fuck. Scott Hall, everybody.
Penalty flag, just brutal.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. We're gonna go with it. Scott, I've done so.
I love to hear you laugh. You must be in Cali because I love hearing you laugh.
I am in Cali. I love it here. I'm back home. So hey, man, I've guested on so many other people's radio shows, podcasts, so it's time for me to have my own.
I shy away from podcasts unless it's someone that is a buddy system of mine. I like doing radio, I like doing local radio in markets and stuff, particularly where I live. Like you had Tampa nailed down when you were there.
Yes, the Mike Calta Cowhead show.
Yeah, that was great, and you gained a lot of fans over that because you did. You exposed some sides of you. People knew you as a wrestler. You exposed you as a human being, and I think you helped a lot of people. So way to go, buddy.
Well, I mean, if I can, that's really cool. I mean, it's just like you, Scott. It's our stories, just our stories, and we're still here and just telling our stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defied a lot of odds makers.
So what's been going on, man?
No, that was the Cowhead show that I was on that time with you, fresh out of rehab, and the one guy had picked me in his Deadpool that year.
Oh yes, Angry Gavin.
So I got to see him like, hey bro, you're in my Deadpool. Be waiting for you in the parking lot.
Yeah, the show that I did in Tampa, for anybody that doesn't know, one of the segments they had on there was one where they would have a Deadpool and they would pick celebrities, and if somebody died, they would get a certain amount of points. Anyways, one of the guys on the show, he picked Scott, and
part of me is flat. Hey, I was living a lifestyle at that time that certainly deserved being noted. I mean, if there's, I'm glad that I wasn't really that mad at the guy. I thought, hey,
no,
cool.
And the funny thing.
At least he was paying enough attention to me that he knew I was out of control.
And the funny thing is when he knew you were coming in the studio, he was like hoping, just really hoping I wouldn't tell you he picked you for the Deadpool, Scott.
Well, of course, then you have to, right?
Of course, because we have to make things as uncomfortable and awkward for people as humanly possible.
It's been serving us pretty well so far.
It's what we do.
Right, let's hold some people down.
So, Christy, you got any questions for my man here, Scott?
Well, hey, Scott. It's Christy here.
Hi.
How you doing?
Doing great, thank you.
Great. Well, you were telling us a little bit before we got on air about taking a week off from working out, and this really interests me. I want to hear more about sitting around eating cookies instead of going to the gym, because that sounds like a
it's only a vacation if you're regularly working out the rest of the year. I try to do something at least 6 days a week. I'm not busting my ass like I was when I was younger, but I still go in and do something. So there comes, every 6 months or something, when I feel a little burnout, I like to just veg. I still eat really clean. And because of my buddy Diamond Dallas Page, now I'm totally eating organic stuff. I have drank the Kool-Aid from the DDP Yoga cult. He's got me eating. I haven't bought organic veggies yet, but I still buy all organic meats. But I feel refreshed when I just lay around, veg out, watch TV, eat clean for about a week, then go back to the gym. I feel stronger. I feel like it propels me forward instead of, sometimes I feel like I get in a rut, like when I'm just like a soldier ant marching. Sometimes I got to take a break.
Hey, Scott, have you heard anything about or read anything about the paleo diet?
I've heard that term, but I'm not sure I know what it means. I don't know. What's it mean?
Well, they're not so much into the, eliminating all carbs necessarily, but grains, a lot of the grains are eliminated and that. Anyways, I don't want to get off onto that, but I've been eating like that a lot lately, and I cut out all the sugary drinks. I'm only drinking water right now. Not even like tea or anything, just straight up water.
Good.
Which is a real big change for me.
Yeah, good for you, buddy.
Yeah, man, I feel
really last
good.
time I saw you, you looked a lot leaner. I mean, I'll see you coming up here this weekend.
This weekend, yeah. Yeah, so we're this weekend, Scott, Keven, and I are managing what are they called? The
Bridgeport Bluefish. Brother.
Yes.
The Bridgeport Bluefish. They're a AAA team for maybe the Yankees, I want to say. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I read something this morning in Yahoo Sports, and I tweeted it out, so that's pretty cool.
Well, you guys got like a game plan? Is this your first time doing this?
The game plan will be, let's score more runs than the other guys. Brother. Something like that. Brother. Yeah, let's try to score more runs than they do, then we win.
So, Christy, last week we were at Stockton Con.
I saw some photos,
Yeah, we killed it there, huh?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I got called from the guy that worked with Kev and I on a couple other deals. That's the thing to do to me, those cons. I still like going to the small-time wrestling shows, but the cons are fun, and they treat you better, and you get to travel like internationally and do them. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
because you'll find for us, especially in our era, we're bigger in Europe than we were in the U.S. There's a difference. They treat you better in Europe.
Well, they
So-
treated us pretty good in Stockton, and the people did. I feel bad sometimes, and I say sometimes, but I get over it quick, Scott. When we come into a convention of any kind, it's like a big vacuum cleaner sucking up all the money. Everybody gives us the stink eye. All
Well,
the other
you're
celebrities.
saying you feel bad for the other vendors, the other people who are there.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hey, I feel grateful. I feel grateful that people even remember who I am and that they will line up and wait in line for hours to come up and tell me how cool I am and take a picture with me. I have time for that. I got time
All
for
day
that.
long.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I used to could only last about 2 hours, and then I got sick of me. But Kev has rubbed off on me where he's like, no, I'm telling you, wait it out, man. Wait it out. It pays off. So now I've been able to sit there 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, and it does pay off. Excuse me.
Yeah, and the thing I'm grateful for is not only do I have the NWO to fall back on and go do the appearances with you and Kev, but I got the DX thing. I can
Yeah,
go
that
do
doesn't
something
hurt.
with Billy Gunn too.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Yeah.
Thank God for the click. Yeah,
Click still rules.
it does rule.
How many times do you think during those meet and greets you have to give the sign while taking a picture with somebody? Do they ask you almost every time?
I just
I
automatically do it.
encourage them to do it. I encourage fans to do it because I want to remind them where it came from, because there's a lot of kids out there now who have no idea where it came from. So let's just remind them.
That's a good
I
point.
think it's really
Remind you
cool.
guys.
I think it's cool. It's the most recognized hand signal in wrestling. And I think the NWO shirt was probably the most recognized shirt back in the day.
Well, I mean, when you
I
watch,
think even still today.
well, when you watch Raw and you look opposite a hard camera, I'm always seeing probably like 5 or 6 NWO shirts in the crowd every time.
Cool.
I'm sure there's way more than that.
Cool, because I still get a cut.
Right.
So finally, thank you.
Well, are you guys how does it work with WWE now that you've kind of have these Legends contracts? Is that right? Are you indebted to them? Can they tell you what to do, what not to do? You're still getting the checks. How does it go?
Yeah, what about, they don't really tell me what to do, but what about you, Scott?
No, they've been really cool with me. All they want to know is a little notice. If it's a big wrestling, like when WrestleMania is coming up or like Royal Rumble's coming up, if I'm making an appearance for somebody else, I always give them a heads up if I have appearances scheduled with them, just to say, is there any way you can work around these appearances, because, blah, blah, blah. It's a nice payday for me. So whenever I talk to Mark Carano there, he's really cool. He just wants to be kept in the loop and given, so I try to always give him that respect. But they've always been cool with me. And then a little love, be on one of their shows or even on just a network show, just keeps you relevant again to young kids out there. I mean, there's kids 5 years old throwing up click sign. And I'm going, and they know about us. Like the kids will talk to me about my matches who weren't born when the match happened.
That still blows me away.
Thank you, WWE Network.
Yeah.
It's the 20-year anniversary of the curtain call at Madison Square Garden and the whole form of the click.
So, yeah, did one of the guys in the booth just mentioned and reminded me that it's the 20th anniversary of the curtain call.
Really, it seems like 19 years.
I think I read somewhere where they're making an action figure set, like the curtain call action figure set.
Oh, wow. I heard a buddy who works for Dally was at the San Diego Comic-Con. That's supposed to be the Mac Daddy one.
It is.
And he had a Master Blaster figure that was in the box backwards, and Typhoon, Big Fred was there signing.
Oh,
and
you mean
they said
Shockmaster?
Yeah, Shockmaster. What did I say? Blastmaster. Yeah, the guy. Remember, he's famous for falling through the curtain.
Yeah.
There's a niche bunch of people out there who think that's hilarious, and they lined up all day just to buy the action figure.
Good for Fred.
Yeah, I think
Really good for him.
I think it's great. So people, at the time that we got a lot of heat for it. Well, we didn't because we left. Hunter got all the heat because he stayed there. But now it's like, epic moment in wrestling. At the time, we were hated for doing it.
Sacrilegious blasphemy.
Vince
How
knew
many
it was going to
people-
happen.
I
I
mean,
was talking to Vince when Sean came in and said, "Hey, blah blah blah," and he went, "Do you want? Is it important to you?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, "Okay, make it happen." He said, "I want Razor to come out." So and I'm sitting right there. So that's what happened.
Well, I wasn't there because I was in.
I don't think Vince realized how he thought it was going to come out and be a little thing. Then it turned into a big production because we're all performers. So the people are cheering it, and then emotionally people are invested. Some are booing, some are cheering, but everybody's paying attention. So we went with it, you know.
Yeah, and I would have.
What I think is cool is 20 years later, people still talk about it. Like, oh my gosh, thank you.
It was such a. It was, and I'm.
Well, I did that. Then a week later, I came through the crowd on the competition TV, and did another groundbreaking thing. So I'm Mr. Groundbreaker.
Was it really that
game changer?
Was it really that soon after the Garden?
Yeah, I thought it was the next day, but I saw something where it was actually a week later.
Wow.
So Sean and
Yeah.
Razor, for Keven from the booth, go back for a second. Am I hearing it correctly that Vince knew about the hug from the Click?
Yeah, he knew.
What?
I mean, I was in there talking to Vince because Vince had never sold the fact that I was leaving. And the way my contract was structured with WCW, I didn't have to leave. But if I chose to leave, these things were guaranteed to me for 3 years. So I didn't have to. So finally, Vince summoned me to his office in the Garden after the match. They're setting up the cage for Shawn and Kev. Me and Triple H have just torn it down. I put them over. And nobody got hurt. So I'm so happy. I'm out of there. Then now Vince wants to talk to me. He didn't say anything the whole time. I gave my notice. I got suspended for a drug test. It's like now he wants to talk. And it's like now to me it's too late. But I went in there and because I want to get my checks that are still owed to me. I want to get paid for that match in the Garden that night. So I'm doing everything that I'm asked. And he goes, "Damn it, you still work for me. How much does them sons of bitches offer you?" And I said, "Well, Vince, I'm meeting Eric Bischoff like next week. I don't feel comfortable talking about this. I already told him I'm coming to work for him." He goes, "How much they offer you?" And I told him. He went, "Whoa." He said, "That's pretty good." He went, "That's pretty good, even when business is good." And business wasn't that good. I mean, that night in the Garden was the largest gate ever non-pay-per-view to that point for the WWE in history.
At a time when business was really on its ass, too.
Yeah,
Still.
My first match in Madison Square Garden as Razor was against Macho, and it was half full. That night, it was sold out. I'm semi-main. Kev's main. We're part of the reason why. I mean, everybody's part of the reason, but, when you're on the top of the card, it kind of falls on you more. And it was like, wow.
So
Vince never sold it. I mean, on the loop, on the towns on the way out, me and Kev, semi-main, sold out buildings, and Vince hasn't said, "Damn it, what can I do to make you stay here?"
But did he say that in the moment, though? In that one moment where you told him?
We told him it's true. He's on record saying it, and it was true. We would have stayed for less than Turner was offering us. And I'm speaking for Kevin. I'd have stayed for less, but I just wanted it guaranteed. And he's like, "No." So I'm like, "Well, you're forcing me out the door, bro." I mean, like, okay, I don't mind being upper middle. I don't mind being Tito Santana. I'm cool with that. I don't have to have the strap to feel good about me, but I want to be paid. I don't have to win. I'm not Brett. I don't care about winning. I just want to get paid. He wasn't guaranteeing it, so I
Do you think he regrets it now?
Oh yeah, and he's came out. I mean, my documentary just came out. It was the latest WWE home DVD. And thank you again, WWE. Thank you, Vince. And he's on there saying, he said Scott Hall made a mistake when he left. He goes, Kevin Nash made a mistake also. He goes, who made the biggest mistake? Me. I should have never let those guys leave. So that kind of feels good. And everything worked out. I mean,
for everybody, it did.
I don't think there's enough TV time for everybody. I mean,
no, the fans paid. The fans got paid the most from that one move. But I never knew that he knew about it was always folklore that he punished everybody for that hug.
Well, he punished guys. He punished people for that because of the reaction of the boys in the back. Really, I mean, that seemed like the
What was the
what
reaction?
really set him off.
What was the reaction, Sean?
Well, I wasn't there. I was on vacation.
Okay, so Razor, what was the
Well,
reaction?
I mean, I heard, of course, nobody's saying it to us, and if they are, I don't care. I don't care, bro. I don't work here anymore. I'm so done. I don't care. But a lot of guys thought that we were trying to sabotage that company because we were leaving. To me, that wasn't it at all. My buddy asked me to come out. He's the man. He's the champ. He asked me to come out. And I felt like, yeah, let me go say goodbye and thank you to these fans in Madison Square Garden, because I don't think I'll ever be here again, because I'm going down to the B team. I'm going down to WCW, where they do things a little bit slower, a little bit less cool, but they pay you guaranteed money. I was at that point in my career where I've already sold out Madison Square Garden. Now I want guaranteed money. And Vince is like, no. And I'm like, bye.
So backstage after the hug, what goes on backstage? Do you recall?
No, we're still hugging. I'm so happy. We just rocked it twice. I mean, I just went out there and put Triple H over in a match that was one of the best matches I ever had. And then the reaction from the curtain call, I didn't know what was going to happen like that. Me and Sean have had a history in that building. So I came through the cage a little bit like, hey, like, the people don't know. Are we going to fight? Oh, maybe he's staying. I'm going to shoot an angle with Sean. People didn't know. Then he ran up and hugged me. And then Triple H had the balls to come out. You know, that was pretty gutsy of him, and he ended up paying for it.
Oh, wait, so did Vince know Triple H was going back out there for the...
I don't know. You have to ask Triple H.
Oh, I will.
And,
I don't know.
And the thing is it was Sean earlier that asked Vince if that could go down, and Vince said something along the lines of, "Well, if it's important to you, then
Important
okay."
to you, make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's I like I said again, I wasn't there, and so I'm just going by what everybody else tells me on that one. So,
Wrestling history changed.
thing is Vince ended up, I can't give guarantee, and they end up giving everybody a guarantee because of that. So
Right. I know. That's what's so crazy is now to all the wrestlers out there, you're welcome.
And how
You're welcome.
Scott,
Well-
how great was it when Sean was inducting Keven, and he made sure to mention all that in the induction speech?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it
was.
feels good. I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, these guys right here changed it,
Right. For everyone sitting out in the crowd with a guaranteed contract right now.
Yeah,
you can
myself
thank these
included.
guys.
Yeah. The actions of Kevin Nash and Scott Hall are the reason why. Yeah, it feels good. Feels good to be acknowledged for that stuff, because it certainly took the heat for it,
Yep.
What do you guys think would happen if some of the guys try to do something like that today?
Well,
I don't think anybody does and even imagines doing anything they're not told to do unless they're major top guy. And all the guys who are on top now have come up through the farm system. So I think they are doing what they're told. I don't think anybody's straying off script.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And guys that I've talked to about that, they go, "Oh no, I'm not going to do that."
No, nobody wants any heat. Nobody's taking a chance.
Sean,
Nobody's
didn't you say backstage that guys are even afraid to joke and laugh when they're in
Sometimes.
craft catering?
Scott, tell them about the time when we walked into that room and there was a big, I don't know if it was a meeting or what the hell it was going on there. And I thought we walked into a funeral. You remember that on TV?
I try not to be bitter old timer. I'm not trying to say that it's better or worse than how it was back when I was actively on the road. It's just different.
Yeah.
I try to cooperate with it because it is the way it is. It is how they're doing business. So you either adapt or you get left behind. When I've been at a few events for doing something on Raw here and there, they put us in the locker room and guys come to you with a script and they're writing my part. It's usually like, "Hey, yo." I mean, so they're working with me, and I tell the guy I'll do the best I can. I can't promise you I'll say every single word, but yeah, I got you, But the guy, if you come up learning scripts, then you know how to learn scripts. I didn't come up that way, so I don't have a problem with what they're doing. To the point of the guys not having fun or not, that's on them.
Exactly.
That's who you hang around with. I mean, Kurt Hennig broke me in right and taught me how to have fun, because you got to realize you're getting to live your dreams. So, Kurt's saying was, wherever I am is the place to be.
We got that from Mike Damone from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, I like that. Just wherever I am is a place to be. Brother.
I can just never believe when you guys talk about the old days and the hard partying and that kind of thing, that you're able to maintain the schedule that you were and be on the road constantly while still having these kind of long nights and getting your fun in. How is that humanly even possible?
I don't even really know, looking back on it.
I
Because
think
can't even
the hard
imagine doing it
partying
now.
and stuff was allowing some of us to cope. I mean, when you're blessed enough to be on last, and in main events, you leave the building late. And then you're so excited you can't really come down. So, I don't know. I wasn't afraid to take some pills and wash them down with 12 or 18 beers or whatever.
Right.
So, I think, I don't know. No one ever had a gun to my head making me do that too. Like, it's not the wrestling business that made me do that. I may have been doing that if I had a job pumping gas. I don't know, because I only did wrestling. But I don't think the guys, another thing about me and Kev leaving is now, like, they don't work a brutal schedule anymore. The most they do is about 5 or 6 days in a row. Then, I know they do appearances and stuff, but the schedule's a lot less. The money's guaranteed. They have trainers, and if you're hurt, you're not allowed to work. It's not your decision. They have guys here going, nope, you can't work. If you do get injured, there's medical staff there that take care of you right away. Everything has progressed. Vince has always modeled, to me, he's always modeled his company after the NFL, and he's got his own network. He's, I think he's right on. He's following the NFL path, and he's already more international than the NFL.
Hey, Scott, have you talked to Sean lately?
No.
Wow.
But I heard that. Did you hear his idea for the thing in Mania?
No.
All right. Well, I can't talk about it.
Oh, come on.
Please do.
No, I don't want to talk about
Tease
it.
us something. You can't do this to us.
Well, there was a idea that we were going to do something. Me, Kev, and Eric Bischoff were going to do something. I think we're going to do something at the Hard Rock Cafe and City Walk in Orlando, since that's where Mania is this year. So. But then there was some talk about maybe Hulkster being involved, which makes it even bigger. But then somebody said, then last time I talked to Kevin, he said, no, I heard from somebody who won't be named, said, no, let's make it a clique thing.
Yes.
So then the whole clique would be involved, because the one dude, if he can't make it, they're going to drop a giant screen down. And he's going to beam it in from wherever he is at the arena doing stuff. So something like that happens would be even cooler,
And Sean already, so he's moving back or he's
Florida.
moving to Orlando.
Yeah.
That's so, like, I really didn't think I would hear Sean was moving to Orlando and gonna get back in the middle of wrestling again.
But you might miss it. I don't know.
I'm sure, man.
Would either of you guys consider doing something like that?
Well,
I would love to be I would love to be down there.
Scott would be really good at it. I don't necessarily think that's my cup of tea. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
I have my way of teaching, and I don't think it doesn't really jive with that, because I never really went to school, and I was never into team sports, and so I don't know if.
So you never spent a lot of time in a locker room with other guys naked?
Yeah, no.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, yeah,
so
that part.
Is that why you hung out so much in the locker room? And you'd be on the first match, and you'd have one boot off by the time I came in from the main event. So I just assume you're hanging in there cock watching. I don't know what's going on. I always wanted to bring that out. What the hell's going on there, Pop?
Are you going to deny or confirm?
No comment.
You can't prove it. I am what I am.
Okay, something else I heard that's just interesting is the fact that there was actually discussion that Hogan might come back.
We'll determine how interesting it is.
Well, this part about Hogan potentially being discussed for Mania, so that means maybe the Hogan ban might be lifted, or at least there's been discussion.
No, I think Scott was just talking about for our
event. For nothing WWE related.
Gotcha.
This would be a private thing we would do.
Do you Scott, you think that they're going to finally lift the ban at some point before it's
I would
all said
certainly
and done?
hope so, but if I would hope so. I mean, if you look at he's been with them over 30 years. He was at over the 34, 35-year career, like one mess up. I don't know, man. I would reevaluate what he brings to the table. Here's all the great things you did. You did this. Yeah, everybody hated it. But now we forgive you, come back. I mean, I don't know. He lost lots of money. I mean, he lost his contract. He lost a lot, impacted him financially. It's been hard, it's been devastating for him.
Do you still talk to him?
Yeah.
When's the last time you talked to Hulk?
Well, about 2 weeks ago.
How's he doing, man? I'm sure he's doing pretty good now that the lawsuit thing happened.
Well, yeah, it's all. I don't want to talk about Hulk. You know what I mean? It's his business.
But it's just good. I think fans like knowing that you're friends.
I don't feel comfortable talking about his life when he's not like in the room.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your life, sir.
Who else you got we could bury?
Yeah.
No. Listen, it wasn't not about burying him. I just.
I didn't mean that. Listen, I don't want to bury Hulk. Who you got?
No, and I think
there are plenty of guys that'd be willing to bury.
But I think also, I think fans also appreciate the fact you're still in touch. And we as fans love to know that it's like seeing heroes on the screen. You want to know that they're friends. Yeah, for life. For life. I love that. Okay, so there's a question there, and I've asked Sean about this. I want to ask you. I feel like the whole NWO for life thing is real.
It is.
Am I just a big mark?
Yes, you're a big mark. We all hate each other. We only do it for money. I can't stand these guys. In Stockton, I was counting the minutes down just to get away from him and Kev. It's all about the money, brother. No, I mean, yeah, it is. It's like click for life, I mean.
I keep having to remind everybody that. They go, which one do you like better, the DX or the NWO? And I'm like, how about like the click? We started both.
Yeah.
So.
We do rule.
Yeah, and that's also very rare with performers. Whether it's music, music acts, you think of the Stones, you think of all the, and it's very rare. The cast of Friends is pretty tight, but it's very rare, But to see that, it's I know as a fan we love knowing that, but I think it's special.
Pac, have you been watching any of the current product? Who do you like on the current?
I watched a bit of Raw last night.
Yeah, I watched some of it too.
I was happy for Kevin Owens.
Oh, I didn't watch that much of it. They put Kevin over. I was thinking that though. They really like him too. Why not push him, right?
Yeah, it was.
Was it who put him over? Rollins?
Yeah, but what happened was Paul hasn't been on TV since Mania.
Right.
And he came out and he double-crossed Rollins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was good, man.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
Did you watch SummerSlam or NXT?
Yeah. I watched SummerSlam.
How about the Nakamura? Man, I'm really.
I missed it. He's over like Rover. I haven't seen that part yet. I was traveling back from Stockton. I get in like at 6:30 in Atlanta and just, I just watched SummerSlam. I didn't watch NXT. So yeah, Nakamura, he's over like crazy. Imagine that a Japanese dude that over in America.
Right? Scott? Like, I'm thinking like he could be the first guy, like Japanese or just foreign guy that could be kind of like the man.
Oh yeah, I think why not? Why not? He's already the man in NXT. That's kind of how they determine it. Like when you're coming through the system. I mean, if you look at Rollins, he was NXT champ, boom, WWE champ. Balor, NXT champ, boom, WWE champ. Well, Universal champ for like a day. I didn't see him get hurt in the match. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
I watched his match. I didn't see it. He didn't sell it, or I didn't notice it.
It was rough, man. I was watching it, and when Seth threw him into the barricade, Finn kind of turned his head a little bit to look where he was going, and when you turn your head, your body follows. So his shoulder hit, man, and it was really bad looking, and you could see Balor pop his shoulder back and finish the match.
What did you think about Brock and Orton?
I thought it was fine. Like, are you talking about the finish?
Yeah, I thought it was okay too.
Yeah.
I thought Randy just kind of sold too much.
Yeah.
To me, he sold and then he kind of died. I think he could have. I would have liked to seen Randy come back, like bam, 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 come, or something.
And a lot of guys, that's all they do is sell and die, and then, I mean, it happens a lot these days.
Well, when you get over, when you're already over, you tend to get lazy and you just try to make guys by just selling and selling, But that's not what people want.
So I mean, that was, people were speculating, Well, did you hear about Jericho and
Yeah, I'm dying to see what you
and
guys
Brock?
think about that.
I mean,
And Jericho and who? I saw Jericho last night with who did he beat?
no, it was
he beat Neville or something.
It was what happened after the finish of Brock and Orton.
No, what happened?
Well, so Randy's laying there, in a pool of blood, and I guess some of the guys were wondering if Brock took liberties on him, and I guess Jericho got hot and went up and was asking somebody, I think Michael Hayes, if if that was a work or if that was went how it was supposed to, and I guess he said this is bullshit or something because Michael wouldn't tell him one way or another.
All right.
And just as he was saying bullshit, in comes Brock, and I guess they got into chest bumping and talking shit to each other. So
I think it went down exactly how they wanted to go down.
I think so.
Those are two pros out there. I think they did exactly what. I think the outcomes were exactly what they wanted.
Sure. I'm surprised that anybody would in the back would get hot without knowing one way or another in the first place.
Exactly. I don't know.
How about Fuge? Uncle Fuge, man.
What about him? I haven't heard.
He died.
No way, really?
Yeah, 82 he was.
Just recently?
Right? Yeah, it was day before yesterday.
Come to my room.
So, I'll tell this story real quick. I used to go and hit Mr. Fuge up sometimes for pills or something, and he'd always say, "You come in my room, boy, son." And then
he never said no.
Never.
He was like, come to my room.
And you remember when I first came in the company, and I don't know if you remember, I used to carry Fuji's bags around for him, and all the boys used to make fun of me.
I vaguely remember you first coming into WWE. I think I was there, but yeah, go ahead.
You think? Yeah, but I was wondering if you remembered me actually carrying Uncle's bags around.
No.
Did he make you do that?
No, I just thought it was the right thing to do.
It was.
With you.
It was.
And
it was.
It was just how I was taught.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Anybody who knows anything had no problem with that.
Can we go back to the fact that Uncle Fuge at 60 has pills in his he's the dispensary?
No, he wasn't. But I was just always on the
a
hunt.
certain group of guys,
Yeah, I was always on the hunt, and he might have been that old, but he was still on the road full time.
So I love that. That's awesome.
And that was a different time.
Yeah, it was a different time. It was, it was okay. Nobody cared. The office didn't care. Nobody cared, so nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Nowadays, they're dropping to the wellness policy right and left.
Yep.
Well, I mean, really, if you think about it, though, considering how many people are under contract with the company, not that many wellness policy violations. You get a couple here and there, but I mean, really, it seems like most people are playing by the rules.
Yeah, it's a different culture. Yeah, and I think a lot of that is related to the less stress because the schedule's not as demanding. It's still demanding, but it ain't out of control like it was in the past. And there's not the pressure of never knowing when you open your check what it's going to be. Now you know what you signed up for. So.
Yeah, well, we were talking before about when you left the WWE, Scott, and there are a couple of guys that are doing that these days. Cody Rhodes opted to leave, Ryback. What do you think in this day and age of guys giving up a huge opportunity like that? There isn't a WCW to go to anymore.
I would recommend, Cody Rhodes is a talented performer. He's going to do whatever he wants to do, and I wish him luck. He's got a beautiful young wife who's talented. There comes a point when I guess he was grinding in a way there for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I think there reaches a point where we go, hey, there's other things in life. He could still make a good living on the indie scene because he'll be highly in demand. To me, with Ryback, I think to me, he needs that big machine behind him. And I say this, I like Ryback. I talk to him. I give him advice. I think he needed that big machine of that TV behind him. I think he's really a big, huge dude, but he's not very tall, and that kind of works against him in one-on-one appearance. You know, when he's on TV and people are in arenas and they see him, oh, he's this awesome guy. When you meet him at some bingo hall, and you're gonna go, oh, you know what he's gonna hear? Oh, I thought you were bigger. He's gonna hear
the
right?
worst.
Oh, I thought you were bigger.
I get the opposite. Thought you'd be smaller.
Yeah, right.
Just like the movie Escape from New York with Snake Plissken. Thought you were dead.
Yeah, I heard you were dead.
Who's calling, Scott?
No, it's my daughter, Cash.
How's she doing?
She's great. I was just down there with her last week in Orlando. She starts nursing school. She just started. So now she is in a situation where she's got all her classes are paid for because she got a scholarship.
Wow.
But she's going to be going to school full time, and you have to intern a lot of hours in the hospital. So if you get in the program, you have to agree that you're not going to work for that 2-year program. So I was just with her, like, we'll work out a budget, baby doll. Let me see what we can do. I'll certainly pay you. I don't care.
Aww.
So yeah, it feels good. She's got I got her a new car and stuff last week. So
it feels good.
Feels good to do
that.
the dad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I wasn't that good at the husband thing, but I'm doing okay with the dad thing.
Well, you would have been on the road constantly while she was growing up. What does she say to you about that now?
A little bit less with Cassidy. She's 4 years younger than Cody. She's 21. So by that time, I was higher up on the food chain. I wasn't working as many days as I was when I was Razor because it's just I didn't have to. It was in my contract, less days. With Cody was the one where most of his life I was on the road. Yeah.
So is Cody still in Japan? Because I was DMing him the other night, just asking him how his neck was, and he didn't really have much new to say.
Yeah, he didn't have much to say to me. So I don't know. I guess he's doing good. I don't know. Let me know when you're coming home. So I could stock the refrigerator.
Oh my God, he eats like a horse. I mean,
like he doesn't eat regularly. Like I try to eat every couple hours because that's just the way I was taught to. He won't eat all day, but then he'll eat nonstop for 4 hours. Like I don't know. What I figure, I'm immature enough to figure out the things that irritate me about him are things that I go, wow, I wonder where he learned that. I look in the mirror, I go, ooh. Like I'll go, he's a cocky prick. And I'll go, where did he learn that? From his mother. And I go, and then people go, nah, you.
No, Scott, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that because the things that irritate me about him are the same things that irritate me about you as well.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I gotta go. I'm breaking up.
By the way, and those things are? What irritates you about him?
Yeah, I'm going. Talk about me behind my back. I like it better. Fuck you, Pac.
Hey, Scott, what's with the? Tell us about the WAW shirt you're wearing. The bad guy shirt. That's badass.
That's that company. It's the Knight family company. You worked for them over there.
That's right.
We got TV now. So I go back for 3 days in mid-September. I do that show with you and Kev. Then I go to London, do 3 shows in Norwich. They sold the TV show.
Wow.
So it's just regional TV, but in that area where they live, it's going to be like territory days in the U.S.
That's
when you
great.
go to the house shows, they'll be full.
A lot of people don't understand that.
No, merch will sell better. The wrestling school will blow up. Things are going to get really good there.
Yeah.
Just hey.
And there's over 200 wrestling promotions in the UK, and they all thrive, and they all kind of respect each other's boundaries for the most part. And
yeah, they work together. Yeah.
It's really cool to see how healthy the industry is over there.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you guys go there quite often, right? And do appearances or?
I don't want to overexpose myself in a market like, because I'm like a special attraction now. Because I'm still in
That's
the
a
ring.
pretty good thing to
Well,
be.
I'm still in the
No,
ring.
it is. Yeah, because you still wrestle.
And
I actually enjoy England. I mean, I enjoy Europe overall. I was just did a show in Germany last time I was over. Did some shows around England, and I just love different things. I love the architecture and the different food and the different customs, and I like all the little things that are different. So I love it over there.
And Scott spent time as a child in Germany too. So
Yeah.
Well, I've heard from some of the guys that all the vehicles there are so small and all the roads are so small that you all are crammed in the back of a car, hitting each other at every turn.
That can suck. That's where the old timer thing comes in good, and you get to sit in the front. I just throw the old timer flag, shotgun.
Wow, man, it looks like we're kind of getting. What time is it?
Yeah, I was wondering what time we started this. It's been
Right.
such a fun conversation
Scott,
with you guys.
So you're waiting, right? We got you on Skype here, and
Yeah.
and you're waiting, and I even tell these guys, if this wasn't me, he would have said F this and been at sushi by now.
No, are you kidding me? I don't even do these effing
Right.
things, but it's you. So I go, like, you're going, hey, can you do it? And I'm like, yeah, okay, no problem.
That was like last week, and then I say that too, and then when it comes time to do it, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I
That's
would have
right, I
bailed
agree
on
to do
anybody
that.
else too. I would have agreed to do it, not done it, But I love you,
I
buddy.
love you too, man, and
This weekend.
yeah, and I'm really happy and grateful that you did my first
So
1, 2,
am I.
360, man.
Thanks, bro.
And I'll see you
Good
on
luck.
Friday. Love you, man.
See you, buddy. Love you more. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was really cool to just be kind of a fly on the wall between you guys and your friendship and the stories. There's just so much there to talk about.
Yeah, I can't even. It's really hard to. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody gets an idea how much my friends and I love each other, but really, truly, it's even hard. They still don't get it, and it's. I'm really grateful. These kind of relationships are what saved my life. Yeah.
Cool. This is going to be so much fun sitting down and talking with you and your friends every week. I'm already looking forward to next week.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you being here with me for that, Christy, because if it wasn't for you being here for that interview, it would have just been, just a normal conversation between Scott and I, and a lot of people might have gotten lost.
Oh, well, we love to hear everything from you guys. And we so appreciate everybody tuning into the show today. Of course, you can catch another episode next week. In the meantime, please follow me on social media at Christy Reports on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And you can see me doing backstage interviews and a little announcing at Paragon Pro Wrestling. Get it on the Fight TV app. I also appear on West Coast Wrestling Connection out of Portland, Oregon. And you can check that out on their YouTube page. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And you can find me on Twitter at @TheRealX-Pac. And this Friday, September the 2nd, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and myself will be managing the Bridgeport Bluefish in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Hopefully we'll see you there.
That's cool. I can't wait to hear about that next week.
Right on. Well, we will see you next week.